Good morning. My name is Reverend Onyx. Welcome to another video. I hope you have enjoyed the ones I've done so far. This morning I will be discussing magical signs. Magical signs are geometrical designs which represent the mysteries of deity and creation, and thus are of special interest to those who have interest in the mystical arts and similar disciplines. The primary signs are the triangle, the double triangle, which forms a six-pointed star and is also known as the Seal of Solomon, the tetragram, a four-pointed star formed by the interlacement of two pillars, and the pentagram, which is a five-pointed star. There are, of course, many other diagrams that are specific to their disciplines and utilization. These primary signs are traced on paper or parchment and at times are engraved on specific metals and glass. They are then empowered with the intent of the rite or energy work being invoked. Let's begin with the triangle. The triangle is based on the idea of Trinity as found in all things. It represents deity, Omega and Alpha, and thus is closely associated with the powerful number of 3. The number 3 can be found utilized throughout the world's religions. The triangle is generally traced on the ground with a magically enhanced sword or rod. One example of this is in circles of evocation where the triangle is drawn within it, and depending on the position of the magician at its point or base, spirits were conjured from the netherworld. It is the act of manifestation that divines the power of the triangle and which separates it from the circle, which in its own right represents infinity. The double triangle, which is known as the Seal of Solomon, is symbolic of the macrocosm. It is formed by the interlacement of two triangles, thus its points constitute the perfect number 6. Among many mystical disciplines, the double triangle represents the masculine and feminine aspects as being integrated. Magicians will often have it traced on their brow and breasts during their ceremonies, and it is sometimes engraved on the silver reservoir of a magically enhanced lamp. The tetragram is symbolic of the 4 elements and is used in the conjuration of the 4 elementals. These elementals are the sylphs, which represent air, the undines, which represent water, the salamanders, which represent fire, and the gnomes, who represent earth. Among the Hebrew, the tetragram represents the name of their god. To the Kabbalists, it represents Adonai as it relates to the world of Malkut. And in mystical philosophy, the tetragram represents the concept of spirit, matter, motion, and rest. And finally, in the hieroglyphs, the tetragram represents the concept of man, the eagle, lion, and bull. The pentagram, the sign of the microcosm, was held to be the most powerful means of conjuration in many rites of various nature, including those of the mystics from the Abraham religions. This particular sign has undergone more of a transformation in meaning than any other magical diagram in history. It is interesting to note that the use of the pentagram dates back to Europe IV around 3500 BCE in Samaria, where the general interpretation appears to be heavenly body. By the cuneiform period around 2600 BCE, the pentagram or symbol UB came to mean region, heavenly quarter, or direction. In association with the Hebrews, the pentagram was ascribed to truth and to the 5 books of Moses. In ancient Greece, it was called the pentalpha. Pythagoreans considered it an emblem of perfection or the symbol of the human being. The Pythagoreans used it as a sign of recognition, and they called the pentagram Hogea, which is usually translated health, but can also translate as soundness or wholeness, or in a more general way, any divine blessing. Hogea is the Greek goddess of health, who is called Salus by the ancient Romans. The pentagram was also associated with the golden ratio, which it includes, and the dodecahedron, the 5th Platonic solid, which has 12 pentagonal faces and was considered by Plato to be a symbol of the heavens. The Greeks, Aryans, and Etruscans around 400 BCE shared a coin bearing a pentagram with the word pensu, which is Etruscan for 5. It should be noted that the texts of Solomon from the medieval period gave great importance to the pentagram under the name Solomon's seal. It is documented that the first English mention of the pentagram appears in the legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, stanzas 27 and 28. 1380 Common Era, where Gawain, who is traditionally the Celtic sun hero, carries a shield, shining goods, with pentagram in pure gold depicted thereon. The early Christians attributed the pentagram to the 5 wounds of Christ and/or the doctrine of the Trinity plus the 2 natures of Christ. It can be found on gravestones in the Claustro de la Vegam, in the Convento at Tomar, Portugal, the Monastery of Ravna, Bulgaria, and the Church of All Saints in Kilham, Humberside, Yorkshire, England, which incorporates the symbol on the columns which support the Norman doorway. It is indented on the gatepost of the churchyard of St. Peter's, Walworth, England, which was built in 1824 Common Era. There is a huge inverted 5-pointed star on the steeple of the Marktkirche, or Market Church, in the 14th century Hanover, Germany. There are also numerous inverted stars that surround the statue of Mary and the Christ Child in Chartres Cathedral, built around 1150 Common Era. And last but not least, it is the official symbol of the Baha'i faith. It is sometimes referred to as the Haikal, which is Arabic for temple or body, and yet with the exception of Eliphas Levi, who is associated with Catholicism, the pentagram has never had any associations with negative energy or evil connotations until then. He made the claim with no justification or established historical precedent that the pentagram with 1 point upward represents the good principle and 1 downward the principles of evil. Eliphas Levi had trained for the Roman Catholic priesthood and was a prolific writer on Freemasonry magical association. The pentagram has been used by all secret and occult societies such as the Rosicrucians, the Illuminati, and on down to the Freemasons of today. At any rate, these symbols each have a long history of magical associations and, when utilized properly, can be a formidable power to the magical practitioner. This summarizes 4 of the most widely used magical symbols. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I encourage you to check out my other videos and comment as you are led. In time, I will be doing more videos on various subjects. I am Reverend Onyx of Lady of the Circle and the Oaks. Until next time, may you blessed be.